So what are liquid alternative investments? We've heard of alternative investments, but which ones are liquid? Which ones can you access? I want to talk about that right now. All right, so what are the liquid alternative investments you have? Maybe you're worried about like having enough cash right now. Maybe you need to just get your money out, but you got to get it back again pretty quickly. Maybe you got to pay a tax bill. Maybe you got another opportunity coming up, but what can you do really quickly, short term, that you can make sure you get access to that money? I want to discuss their options right here. Okay, so you're looking at these liquid alternative investments. What are they? What can we actually be doing? For the most part, alternative investments, and when we talk about alternative investments, this is something outside of what your financial advisor will offer you. Alternative investments could be things like crypto, right? It could, in some ways, you might consider it like stocks if you're doing your own stock trading. I look at alternative investments as anything outside of what a financial advisor will offer you, right? The traditional stuff of mutual funds and whatnot. Now, stocks are kind of really borderline mainstream kind of stuff, but I'll tell you, my favorite investments are alternative investments. So are there things you can do that are actually liquid? Things you can get cashed out quickly in case you need it? For the most part, I will say no, but there are investments that do work. Let me give you an example. When I have clients that come to me and they say, okay, Chris, we've got cash here. We want to know what to do with it. Now, we're not investment advisors, but we give them a lot of different guidance and education on what they could be doing. We even have connections of people in this different alternative investment world. We say, hey, these people do these kind of investments. You should look into these guys or whatever it might be. These guys have been paying for 20 years, never missed a payment. You should check this out, right? So we look at those kind of options. And if they say, well, I need to have this money back in the next, say, 6 months, well, then we might look at some option like maybe just a simple, could be like a short-term hard money loan, where they might loan out their money for 3 to 6 months for a specific investor. Now, you're not gonna get rich off this, but so many people worry about a lot of times, they're like, well, I could keep it in the savings account, but I'm not gonna make a lot of money here. You know, I'm just gonna make 0.nothing% with my bank. Now, I always tell you this, and this is a big warning I'm gonna give you. If you need money quickly, right, you need to get it out quickly, whatever interest you're gonna earn, you're not gonna earn a lot. And it's okay to let it sit. Even if it's in a simple savings account, it's okay to let it sit. You're not gonna miss out on the whole world, and you're not gonna go broke just because you didn't make an extra 0.5% or a full percent or 2% or 3% or whatever it might be over that short period of time, right? So just be aware, you don't have to like stress about it. Now, I will tell you this, if you're looking for an alternative to the bank, one great option we talk about all the time on this channel is infinite banking, right? Where you can actually have your money held inside of a life insurance policy, specifically whole life insurance, that's specifically designed to have lower costs so you can maximize the amount of returns you get from it. This also allows you to have more liquidity with it. That's a great place to go. Because yeah, I can pull money out of banks same day. I can have a high yield savings account that can pay me a little bit more. These are obviously not alternative investment strategies, but they're strategies, of course. You know, and I can transfer it over to my bank in a couple days, but I can also keep it in life insurance, which is not as much mainstream. At least not this way that we're talking about using it, because I know I can transfer it over in about a week or two and have that money there. I'll tell you, just this week alone, I've had already about 5 clients asking for money to say, hey, here's my loan form, can I get the money out? It is nice when insurance companies do have the back-end access, so you can just do it online. It's much easier than trying to go through me to do it. But they do that. Like there's people that are saying, I need to get this money next week or two because I'm doing a home improvement, or I got an investment opportunity coming up, we got to get the money in pretty quick. Now, if it's like I get it in 24, 48 hours, sorry, I would not put it into life insurance for that kind of urgent need. But I also don't make investment decisions that require me to put in money that quickly. You know, I do want to make sure that there's time for it to move over. So I can get to that money in about a week or so using my life insurance. What we talk about is infinite banking. And again, we have all kinds of YouTube videos on this channel about that. So make sure you subscribe to Money Ripples here. Now, what are other things I can be doing? What if I do want to make more money with my money? What are still kind of liquid? Sometimes I have contacts that have like a 90-day fund. They'll say, here, you can put your money in for 90 days. It is locked up for 3 months, but you'll earn maybe 9% a year on that money, or 8% or 7%. Sometimes it's less. It might be like 3, 4, 5, 6% a year. You know, it might be a little bit better than just using a simple savings account. You also have other things, like I said, short-term lending, where I can lend my money to those real estate investors. Now, I will give you a warning on this, is that even though you might have that contract saying maybe they'll pay you back in 6 months, and you know you need that money back in 6 months, just be aware that sometimes things don't always go according to plan. So if they can't unload that property and sell off to get the profit, they may not be able to pay you back in time. So just be aware of that, is that if you're looking to get that money back, I like to pick terms that are shorter than when I actually need the money back. You know, just yesterday I had a client ask me, she said, hey Chris, I've got $250,000. I'm thinking about putting with one of these guys that's one of your contacts here, and he's willing to pay me 18% a year over the next year for this money. Now he said it's only 3 or 6 months. I said he did say that, but notice that I told you 12 months. And the reason I told you that is because I want to make sure you're not disappointed if it all of a sudden goes into like 7 or 8 months, that it might be a 12-month lockup. If you're okay with 12-month lockup, then fine. She's like, no, I don't need it in the next 12 months. Maybe after that, I do need it. I say, well, great. For him, 3 to 6 months, and it might, but you have the 12-month window, works great. And by the way, getting paid 18% on a deal does not happen very often. That's an amazing deal. She's like, yeah, I know. If you do the math on that $250,000 with that 18%, it makes 18% of a $250,000, whatever that is. It's a lot, right? Like it's somewhere in the ballpark of like $40,000, whatever. So it's awesome, right? Like she was very happy to be able to get something like that. And that's the thing I love, right? Is that you do have options there. Now, like I said, most alternative investments, if you're trying to be liquid, they may not be liquid. They might tie it up for years, sometimes 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or longer. So be very careful when you're looking at alternative investments. Are they actually liquid? Look for what kind of lockup period they might have. And yes, it might mean you get paid less interest, but again, if you want that liquidity, that's okay. This is why, again, if I want liquidity, I'll either do usually one of these two things. I'll either do short-term lending or I'll keep my money in my life insurance. Those are like usually the safest bets that I've got. Now, there are other alternatives, as I mentioned. Like, for example, you could buy crypto. You could buy crypto, but again, the risk is, what if the market starts dropping right about the time that you need to get it back out? So yes, crypto could work. That could work, but again, you gotta be careful. I've done that before, but I usually, if I'm buying crypto, I'm timing the markets a little bit. I'm timing the lows and the highs. I don't wanna have it set a certain time frame on it. So be very careful if you're in a crypto type investment, not to think that's your liquid account. Some people might have brokerage accounts, which again, that's not alternative investment, but that could be one reason to have a financial advisor. You could have a brokerage account that you could be investing in different things. Just so you know, putting your money into a REIT, R-E-I-T, real estate investment trust, is not real estate, it's not alternative investments, okay? So that is mainstream. So if I'm looking at alternative investments, again, I look more for infinite banking, short-term hard money lending, that's pretty much it. All right, again, if you wanna see what kind of alternatives are out there, even the ones that aren't as liquid, be sure to subscribe to our Money Ripples channel here.